to consolidation. What has impacted all of us is generative AI. Launching a new wave of threats, cybersecurity risks have expanded. Most intrusive is the threats that look like deepfake, phishing, and the like. Attack surfaces have also changed significantly. This talk also touched upon CXO priorities and the approach to cybersecurity, the different roles and implementations that they have. So for cyber transformation, the three areas that are sure to be prioritized: managing cyber risks, minimizing security efficacy, automating threat decisions and detections. For the next keynote, the topic, securing the future, mastering the complexities of today's software supply chains. Join me in welcoming Rahul Shashi, co-founder and CEO, Cloudsek. Over to you, Rahul. Good to have you back.
Thank you. Good morning, DNCR. Oh, come on, that's not the energy I'm expecting. Good morning, DNCR. Awesome. You know, a couple of years back, my company, I used to work for a US company, they wanted to move all the good security engineers to the US. It's a good opportunity, but I started asking one question. If all the good people start moving to the US, who's going to build this country? So I quit my job, founded the company, Cloudsek, and I'm here in front of you. I realized that this story is not just my story. I have a room full of people who is building a secure digital India. My name is Rahul Shashi. I'm the co-founder, CEO at Cloudsek. We are one of the largest cyber intelligence companies in the world. A little bit of Cloudsek. We are almost 200 plus clusters, 3 offices in the world. Founded in 2015, backed by some of the largest investors in the world. We have 3 products which is used by almost 30 of the Fortune 100 companies. I will try to keep my presentation a bit interactive today. And I also want to share what Cloudsek does, right? Cloudsek is in the business of predicting cyber threats. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to think, I want to show you a little bit of small prediction, right? I want all of you to think of one pet bird. I want you to think of a pet bird. And I hope you have a name in your mind, right? A pet bird. All of you at this point of time might be thinking of a parrot. And if you think about it, predictions are not science fiction. We predict rain. How do we predict rain? We pass the data of rain through a mathematical model, which accurately tell how much it is going to rain. And that's what we do in the company. We build unique data sets and unique cybersecurity machine learning algorithms, which predicts accurately how much, when the next cyber threat is going to happen. Like I said, I'm going to keep it interactive. I'm not going to talk much about the products we have. We have an ecosystem of use cases. I'll go, our question, and by the way, my colleague over here, whoever gives the right answer is going to give a goodie bag to you. The first question I have is, I'm holding something in my hand. Can someone tell me what I'm holding in my hand? Just make a wild guess. There's no right answer to it. It's a pen, right? It's not just a pen. It's a pen that can shoot fire. The right answer is over there, that gentleman with the specs. Showing me? All right, thank you, sir. So, but we have more goodies to go, right? It's not so much about the pen. It's actually the complexity of producing this pen. This pen is called Flare. It can write, and it can also shoot fire. The pen was actually built and R&D'd in France. The raw materials of this pen was procured from Japan. The manufacturing happened in China, where I obviously procured it from a shop in India. If I were to disrupt the production of this pen, I can obviously attack the manufacturing unit in China or the raw material plant in Japan. And that's the most important part, the complexities of supply chain. And today, in my talk, I'll focus on giving you real-life use case studies of real supply chain attacks which has happened. To give you a preview of some of the concepts we are going to discuss today, we'll talk about 3 different supply chains. One, your third-party vendors. Second, your shadow vendors. Third, what we call fourth-party vendors. Your third-party vendors are the suppliers you would know really about. But what are your shadow vendors? Let me give you an example. All of you would be having a website, and those websites would be registered by a domain registering company, right? If I were to attack that domain registrant, I would be able to hijack your domain, at least for temporary. If you look at your unknown vendors, or what we call fourth-party vendors, these are vendors whom your employees would sign up to, maybe a ChatGPT or GitHub, where some of your data is sitting by virtue of one of your employees using it. And that's what we call fourth-party vendors. So give you the first case study, and this is, like I said, this is going to be a Q&A. If you get the right answer, you get more gift. And this is a real-world incident which happened. We're talking about Airbus, and you would all know what Airbus is, right? They are an airplane manufacturing company. And if you look at their supply chain, well, they have something like Turkish Airlines, who buys airplanes from them. You have something like SAP, where all their ERP data sits. You have something like an Workday, which is all their HR, all their employee data sets. And we have Azure Cloud Provider, which is all their infrastructure sits on Azure, right? Cloud infrastructure. The question is very simple, and I hope you can see the screen. How did you think Airbus got attacked? What supply chain was used in compromising Airbus? Who said B, by the way, first? I heard it somewhere here. We'll give you something. I'm sorry. Congrats. So, yes. The Turkish Airlines, who buys Airbus, airplanes from them, one of Turkish employees' credentials were leaked on the dark web. And what happened was that credential had a third-party app application access to Airbus. So the attackers used this Turkish Airlines credential to log into Airbus portal, and then they found a misconfiguration, which they escalated, and then they exfiltrated all the data. So your vendors is not just your vendors, but also your customers, right? Because you have an association with them, and by virtue of hacking those customers, you can actually compromise your infrastructure as well. This is a case study of an Indian SaaS company, and let me explain what their supply chain is. They have a CMS vendor, which is Atlassian. They have JustPay, where all the payment transactions go through. They have WordPress as a CMS, which they host all their websites. Equifax as a customer support portal, and Mixpanel for all their data analytics. Which of these supply chain do you think was used to compromise? I saw it over here. The people who have given the right answers, please visit our booth. We have a lot more goodies there. I'm going to give it to here. You also did the right answer, by the way. Yes, it was actually a vulnerable WordPress plugin, which was used to compromise. So WordPress have tons of these plugins, right? And WordPress, if you look at it as a software, you can actually compromise one of the WordPress plugins to get access to the application. And that's what happened. In Cloudsek's perspective, we have BVigil, which actually monitors all your, softwares and services and identifies if there is any misconfigurations related to that. This is a large private bank. And if you look at their supply chain, they have Oracle, which is doing all their core banking. They have a payment gateway, which is CC Avenue. Obviously, they have AWS, HRMS by SAP, and CRM software by Tableau. Could you make a guess what could have led to the compromise of this company? By the way, what? I can't hear. B, okay, that lady over there. B is the right answer. what happened is one of CC Avenue, which is one of the payment vendors, payment gateway vendors, the employee of that payment gateway vendor exposed a integration snippet on Postman. Postman is a platform where developers come together and share snippets. So the exposed code snippets had API keys, and you can use these API keys to monitor all the transactions which goes from the major bank to the gateway. In fact, very recently we saw something bigger, and something we reported, and in fact one of the largest banks in the country is our customer. And if you look at all the banks today, none of the ATMs of the banks are operated by the banks. They're actually managed by a vendor. That means, and if you look at all the ATMs, they have a CCTV camera somewhere, right? We identified a misconfiguration in the audit application of the CCTV camera, which allowed an attacker to monitor every live footage of every camera sitting in multiple banks. So if an attacker was to find this first, they would have actually literally seen when money was coming in, when money was going out, who is bringing in the money, how much money is sitting in, including, some cases, maybe the PIN numbers of the users. So the point here is that attackers are changing their methodology. Your companies would be secure, but your partners and suppliers would not be as secure. In fact, we, Cloudsek, ourselves had a security incident where one of our laptop vendors, the people who provide laptops to us, were compromised, and then they were planted with a malware. So what is happening? Like I said, the future of the attacks, they will always go after the weak links, and the weak links are your third parties. And now you start thinking, as of today, a security score is used to actually figure out whether it's safe to use a vendor or not, and that's not good enough. Why? Because your supply chain is not just about a vendor. And if you simply think about it this way, right? Atlassian is a vendor to your organization. But then Atlassian has 4 different products which you would be using in one of your infrastructure. And those 4 different products will have multiple plugins, because software is built by multiple small plugins. And each of these plugins will have multiple dependencies. For example, by virtue of you having Atlassian, you will have a Log4j sitting in one of your infrastructure. And you could be compromised. So what are we trying to say here? It's important to monitor your digital risk coverage, right? Your vendors, suppliers, plugins, and dependencies. At the same time, identify what are the threats impacting them. To conclude, if you are monitoring your supply chain using a security score, that's not good enough. That's good for compliance. But if you are looking for security, you would need continuous supply chain monitoring. And that's something which Cloudsek SVigil provides. I have a small video.
And my name is Shivani Aivarikar.
Of our customers.
Hi everyone, I'm Vandana Verma.
We have Mir with us today. He's with NPCI.
With Cloudsek, our experience has been really good, and the kind of support, the good support we have received.
Fabulous product.
Abby from Cision. So in Cision, last 3 years we have been using XVigil tool as one of our primary dark web monitoring tool. It helped us on discovering a lot of threats.
We have Bajaj Finance team with us.
As far as the threat alerts and the detections are being there, so we've always found Cloudsek to be like a leader, especially on the dark web part.
We have been using Cloudsek from some time. We have been using the product SVigil, XVigil, and it has been a good experience working with the team. They have been very supportive.
While we have great customer testimonials, our objective is not to build a great company or a great product. Our objective is to actually do much more valuable things for the community. We have, and if you just go to the DSCI gift box, we have decided to give all of you a gift hamper, which is there. And if you visit our booth, we have a raffles, because top of our Cloudsek vision is to do good for the community. We are giving away 2 iPhones using a lucky draw. So if you liked what we are doing, please stop by our booth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rahul, and that is a token of our appreciation. Every year you come and tell us exciting, interesting things that are happening in the space, so thank you once again for that.